Hello and welcome back to Hoi 4, Equestria War, Griffonisches Reich under Emperor Grover II. In today's episode, we continue down, and well, first we have a decision to make. Do we establish the Orchestrat Fluffsland? The ponies cannot be left to their own devices. The differences between us and them are unbridgeable. A knightly order will be established from veterans of the Grand Crusade and remnants of the older orders. They will oversee the riverlands, contain unrest, stemming and spreading the word of the Trinity. I'll ensure that no dishonorable Russian scum gets in this time. So we release the Republic. Republic of Longsword joins the Republic. Or establish Fluffsland Frischiston. An Ironclaw will lead to rebellion and hatred, while we only need to rule the ponies to safeguard our own lands. Extensive local autonomy will be granted to 3 different Fluffsland free states to de-radicalize and adjust the ponies, and we'll deal with the Nubusian in particular at a later date. I have won the war. Winning the peace will be harder. So basically, do I want a lot of little puppets or one big puppet? Well, this one gets some better leaders. This one's just one large puppet, though, which would be useful. I'm gonna do that. Why not? I'd say that works. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be at least a little nice. Yeah, and here's one of the major differences between what happens in the realities is this ending, Cold Fury versus Emperor Griffonisches. Because it depends on if your heir has survived this guy. Yep. We're questioning their sovereignty. We're discussing, should they exist or not? I think we should discuss this question together and decide whether it makes sense for them to be allowed to exist. You must think about this. Sorry, Archurian Order. Thank you for dealing with the problem over here of those guys, but, look. I just gotta unite Griffonia. I'm so close. Griffonia is so close to being united under me and my one puppet, about to be various puppets, but it's so close to being all under my royal authority. I can't just leave the last little piece not under my control. I can't leave you there. It's just, I just can't. Something wouldn't feel right about it, if you get what I mean. You probably don't. You probably don't understand exactly what I mean by that. Because, well, you wouldn't agree with me. I know that much to be true. Why would you agree that you should not exist? But, look, it's for the best. Maybe one day you'll understand that. Yeah. Plus, you're a Griffin nation. The only one I'm releasing are ponies and minotaurs. Ooh. Who are these? Okay, so Prince Heavenly Snow, we know you. Okay, you're the starting leader of their nation. You just got to come back in charge under me. Heavenly Snow got to be in charge under me. Pumpkin Swirl. But who are you? You have description, and I don't recognize you. Pegasi and Wittenland are often regarded as no better than earth ponies, meaning they belong to the bottom social hierarchy. Yet, Edberta is not there. They are firmly in the middle class, having risen there from poverty with their negotiating skills. White Star's liberalizing reforms allowed free trade and helped commoners secure loans. Edberta took one loan, founded a small delivery business, and started making deals. Soon enough, it was the biggest delivery company in Wittenland. Yet not a single unicorn was employed, as they lacked the Pegasus ability to fly over rough terrain. Edberta is a firm advocate of liberty and equality, yet they are not a socialist. Instead, they want society to be free and fair, without intervention from the government. Every pony should get exactly what they deserve, nothing less and nothing more. Just because a pony is a unicorn or a poor doesn't mean they should get more than others. This is why Edberta was happy to support Valar in his cause. But more than values, Edberta cares for their business, and sometimes conflict is profitable. No pony is quite sure what gender Edberta is. They themselves don't seem to care. Instead, ponies are free to use he or she or anything else when referring to them. Oh, wow. How liberal. The only person who truly knows what gender they are is their husband. Edberta is happy to keep it that way. Nice. Alright, throw you there. Throw you there. We're not going to invite you into the war because I'd rather just me fight this. I'd rather not get my subjects involved. I'm still trying to fully stabilize them, you know. A revenge 2 centuries in the making. Nimbusia, the most despicable nation to have ever spawned on Boris continent. Not even Wingbardy comes close to the sheer hatred I have for the arrogant cures of Nimbusia. I will personally travel to the far eastern end of Griffonia to orchestrate the final fate of those rodents. Damnatio Memoria. Woo! Yay, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go. Oh, hey, we gave that to them. Huh, that's interesting that we sided with their territorial claim. Especially because, yeah, it's a core state of theirs as well, even of Mirland. Which is a great detail that they left that. Also, it's an interesting detail that Pony End has their cores. And so do these guys. But none of the rest wait, no, some of them, these guys have their cores. These guys have their cores. These guys have their cores. These guys have, why did these guys have their cores taken away? Is it, oh, it must be because, how it works is that they are the ones that are these nations. So that's why they're counted as them. We will pour a tremendous amount of resources into finishing Gerhard line. Yale will be safe. Woo! Also, I'm gonna be able to build a lot right now at this moment because of that. Because right now I have 0% because of finishing the line, so build lots of railroads for me. So we don't have to do all must bow. Oh, first, the fate of Nimbusia. I traveled all the way to Nimbusia, the land of my ancient enemy. I visited the battlefield where I died. I couldn't read the memorial plaque the filthy Pegasi had put up, but I made sure no being could ever read it again. A more appropriate monument will be constructed in due time. When I finally lay my eyes on the wretched city of Nimbusia, I could not hold back a smile. Centuries of pony history of their troublesome fighting force. I'd seen many dreams where I personally lit the fires that would consume this pit of rodents. But for the sake of the Empire, I had to consider my own pleasures. Of course I could raze Nimbusia to the ground and loot in a sack of epic proportions, then drag the filthy Pegasi out of their homeland and forbid any mention of Nimbusia, leave the land to the ponies they oppressed so that they could practice their damned spear throwing. It was exactly what the Nimbusians deserved for their insolence. On the other claw, this would still be a warrior's death. I have to admit it. Nimbusia has a sort of beauty to its land, which could serve the Empire in the most humiliating ways. The Pegasi could perform their little martial arts tricks to tourists, while the beaches here could truly be a hit for the wealthiest griffins and ponies in the Empire. How humiliating is a story which ends in performing for fat bankers and their families, making money by degrading your own legacy. Power is truly a beautiful thing. So I could burn Nimbusia to the ground and never have it mentioned again. Every major city in the wretched land of Nimbusia will be torn down and set on fire, or Nimbusia will finally be of use to civilization as a place of leisure. Sure, why not? So we're not doing all must bow. I've got to my revenge, but more remains to be done. I thought I'd be satisfied, but I feel my rage returning. I've not yet reached my father's greatness. More enemies wait behind every mountain and over every sea. I've decided where I go, the red shirt will follow, until all beings on this rock will bow before me, or something like that. Until, yeah, rock bow to me. Emperor of Griffonkind. After marching the Imperial Army to the far ends of Griffonia, I've achieved what I set out to do. With this one final act of revenge, only calm is left. I've done the awful deeds that needed doing, and history might remember me as a tyrant. Now it is time to ensure peace endures. Soon Grover will inherit the Empire when he is of age as Emperor of all of Griffonkind. Woo! I'm just going ahead and setting up more railroads while I've got some time. Okay. Alright. And then Grover will be crowned when he comes of age in 1021, which we've seen him come to age before, but I don't know if it's the same tree or if it's a different one or how it works with him. So we'll find out in a while. But I think for now, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys be. And I'll bring you guys back when we come together to continue on with seeing what his son has in store for us. This video isn't over, as you can see by the time, but I'll see you later. Well, it's been a little while, so here we are at the coronation. The coronation of my grandkid. Or more than that. I don't know how many generations difference there'd be. Whatever. But as you see, I've finished all the focuses as well. All the side focuses during this time. All my generals are completely upgraded, even the ones in the back. gotten the most amount of generals I can get with the amount of max command power I have at the moment. So I've just been, like, wait, what? I thought I had completed the industry. Okay, let me get these last couple random provinces. There we go. Okay, well after that, I've literally completed all the industry in the land. My puppets have been, like, pretty much completely, like, fully upgraded. And now I'm just building oil depots over all my territory. The coronation. Flags waved from every balcony in Griffonstone, and flowers adorned the lampposts of the traditional coronation city of the Grovers. Almost every griffin was outside, gathering as close as possible to the Temple of Boris, where the coronation of Grover was due to take place. The temple square was already occupied by guard units from every fief of the empire, proudly displaying their regimental standards and honors. Grover the Second and Grover the something, along with their honor guard and guests, had a procession through the city. As they made their way to the temple, they were greeted with deafening cheers of support. Inside the temple, the stained glass windows allowed the sun's rays to shine through playfully. Guests from all over the continent and diplomats from beyond the sea took their seats, waiting for the ceremony to begin. All being present stood up again. However, when the two emperors entered the temple, slowly striding past the guests, a banner carried preceding them with the imperial standard. The two Grovers proceeded to the front of the crowd, stepping up to the podium. Grover kneeled in front of his great-great-grandfather. Okay, that's the amount he is. So not grandson, not great-grandson, great-great-grandson, and great-great-grandfather. Okay, whose magical aura never seemed calmer than at this moment. The conquering emperor administered the oath of office for his successor. The young griffin dutifully recited his ancestor, promising to uphold the law and the ancient rights and privileges of all the lands and citizens, and to fiercely defend the empire and the faith, like a good emperor ought to do. When the oath was over, the petty kings of Aquilia and Wingbardi, being the most senior vassals of the empire, stood up in unison and shouted, "Long live the emperor, hurrah!" After which the rest of the crowd followed. Then the Archon of Boros recited the Pledge of Allegiance to the vassals, who swore their loyalty. While outside, the Archon of Achurius did the same for the gathered soldiers, and the Archon of Aerie did it for the gathered commoners. With the official part over, the emperor went back to the palace, where he appeared on the balcony above a roaring crowd. Celebrations of the emperor's coronations would last deep into the night in Griffonstone, with the rest of the empire enjoying the coronation via radio, or by watching film reel footage a few days later. Grover of Griffonstone, sixth of the name, Emperor of all Griffins, ascended to the throne at age 18. Unlike his father, who was denied the coronation by his regency council, Grover Regent allowed him to be crowned as soon as he came of age. Already his reign appears even more promising than his father's. He is healthy, the empire has been rebuilt, subversive and traitors movements have been crushed, and the light of Boros shines upon Griffonia. But will he be able to keep Griffinkind united? That will be the greatest challenge of his life, and he must dedicate himself to it fully. Without the idol of Boros, it may not even be possible to keep Griffins united under one banner. Only time will tell if its upbringing was good enough to prepare him for the hardships ahead. The Emperor's Tomb. The dogs of Bronzehild had labored faithfully for years on the imperial project of a massive proportions. Sheltered deep in the Schwarzkroten, the tallest peak of the county, they carved out a mausoleum. Now their work was complete, and its singular future resident had arrived to inspect it. The thousands of dog workers surrounded the massive pillared entrance. Grover II made a short speech, thanking them all for their hard work, smiling gleefully as he recalled the differences between the frightened refugees who came to Bronzehill and the proud Imperials they had become. Then he and Grover entered the mountain tomb. Inside was on one side a living quarters with all the amenities an emperor could need, a study room with many tombs, and an armory full of modern and classical weapons, amongst other things. The more ornate central part had a floor mosaic depicting a map of the Griffonian Empire in painstaking detail. The stained glass panels on the walls depicted scenes from Grover II's life, from smashing the First Aquilian Rebellion to welcome the dogs into Bronzehill, and reconquering the Empire for a second time. Across from the living area was a massive chamber with rows and rows of griffin and dog statues of the Imperial Guard and all the servants an emperor could want. All of this led to the actual tomb. 2 marble sarcophagi set with the finest gemstones, surrounded by the finest statues. To the left, the discreet family. To the right, the Grovers. The left sarcophagus read Giselda and was closed, while the right one was still open. Having observed all of it, Grover II put his claw on the young emperor's shoulder. They did an amazing job, didn't they? Grover, who was closer to crying than to smiling, nodded. He could leave it empty for a while longer. The dogs won't mind. They love to have you around. You could rule Bronzehill for me. The Conqueror shook his head. It is your time. You have the blood, the brain, and the bravery of all your fathers. Grover, you're smarter than I am, and more patient. And if you feel unsure, put your faith in the gods. The young Griffith hugged him, that his ancestor wished that his magical body could feel warm for once. I love you, the young Grover said, and the old one ruffled his feathers. I love you too. Now go and lead your life. I'll be here if you need me. It took a long time before Grover managed to let go and walked out of the Emperor's tomb. Sleep well. I will miss you. Okay, who's... okay, I'll throw you in charge of the army. Alright. And now I'm assuming, like the last run, I have to wait a little bit before I actually get, the ability to continue to a new focus tree. Because last time, now I was playing as the actual Griffonian Empire, instead of Yale reviving the Emperor, then forming the Griffonisches Reich. So it's a slightly different run, but if it's similar to that run, I should get a new focus tree in some point. I don't know if it'll be from the same way. I don't know if it's the same focus tree. I don't know how this works, but we're gonna find out together. We're gonna learn together how this works. Alright. So yeah, I'm just waiting for a little while. Last time I let you guys leave while we're waiting, but it was actually not very long of a wait. So I'm kind of seeing if like it just happens all of a sudden, because if it just happens like in a moment or two, then whatever, we could just wait together for it. But if it takes a few months, then that's different. So I don't. But I assume there's some more to it. Good for you. You've made it. But I can't be completely sure either, just because this is a different path, so I don't know, but I would assume. Interesting. When it comes to Air Force, my bottom part of my country gets thrown in with them, but my top part gets thrown in with them. So at this point, there's one or two things that are going to happen. Either I'll come back to you guys with a focus tree appearing and we'll continue on and we'll keep playing, or this path doesn't have a different focus tree afterwards and we'll end here. We'll find out soon enough, but until then, I think this will be the end of this episode and possibly the end of the series. If the next episode is a different series, you'll know then that it was the end of the series. So I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.